Hey there, I'm meteorologist Lily Aldrich, and welcome back to the Weather Impact Show, telling you everything you need to know weather-wise and getting into the nitty-gritty details of what you need to know. We actually had a very foggy day today. If you've stepped outside at all, you've seen all of that smoke. And honestly, it's been crazy. Take a look at some of our cameras around Ohio and surrounding states. You can just see all of that haze out there right now. And all of that's because of that Canadian wildfire smoke that we've been seeing and tracking throughout the week for you. But it's really taking into effect today. And honestly, you saw the worst of it earlier this morning. And as we get through the day, conditions will start to get a little bit better, but you got to keep an eye out for it because they are going to be sticking around at least for the next few hours. Conditions like these can easily irritate your eyes and throat, but here's a couple things that experts say that you should do to stay safe.
Trying to limit your strenuous outdoor exercise, work out inside if you can. Don't mow your lawn in the heat of the day. Close your windows to minimize the entrance of air into your home. Don't drive with your car windows down. And then if you do have to work outside, try to take breaks as much as possible.
And some of those are some great tips for you. But let's take a look right now at everything going on for us here in Central Ohio. You can already see that all that purple color, that's hazardous material. That's all from that fog and all the smoke and smog everywhere pretty much all around our area. And at the moment earlier today, you saw more of this maroon color. That was that hazardous air quality. But as we've gotten a little bit further in the day, we've gotten slightly better. Nothing too crazy, but at the moment, we're still kind of ranging around that very unhealthy to hazardous category. And mind you, this is for everyone. This is for all of us out there, not just people who are normally at risk for hazardous air conditions like asthma, children, elderly. It's a lot of things going on right now, but that's why we've issued this weather impact alert for you. This will be mainly gone by the time we hit the next hour or so, but I just wanted to keep in mind, if you do have any plans to go outside within the next few hours, that smoke is still out there and you got to be cautious of it because it is very dangerous, like that expert was saying. Make sure you stay inside if at all possible over the next few hours. Later in the afternoon, I want to clear out a little bit of that smoke. So this is around 6 o'clock today. You start to see these kind of lighter colors build back into our smoke right here for your near ground smoke. And normally we've been at this purple reddish range, but as we get later into the day, you'll start to see those greens and blues coming back in. By the time we hit 9 o'clock tonight, you see all of that smoke kind of start moving its way out of the area. Saturday morning, you'll wake up tomorrow and kind of be like, hey, where did it all go? And it's going to be pretty clear out here. You might still see a little bit more of hazy skies because, mind you, this is ground level smoke. This is everything that's within a 3-mile range from the ground. But the further you get up in the atmosphere, we will still have some smoke lingering around. That's not going to be affecting your air quality too much. Nothing compared to what we saw today with the air quality index of around 500. Just keep that in mind. If you do have any plans tomorrow, you're looking a little bit better in terms of air quality. But in terms of storms, we're still teetering a little bit on that front. For today, we're keeping an eye on those smoky conditions, but we do have a chance of seeing some relief from all of the hazardous conditions come in the middle of next week. After this, though, we are looking at some storms coming in tomorrow that could possibly become severe. For today, a high of around 90 degrees. It's a little bit cooler than 93, but we're keeping an eye on that with the sunshine and everything out there right now. Rain chances coming in a little bit later this afternoon, but for the most part, there's your hour by hour, 89 by the time you hit 5 p.m. Slightly cooling off as you get later into the evening, 11, 12 o'clock. We're seeing lows kind of stick around the mid-70s for the entire area. 74 for your low in Columbus tonight, which is actually still pretty warm. Our dew points have already started to decrease a little bit, but not by too much. Still giving you some kind of muggy conditions overnight for your lows. So if you are going out to the Clippers game later this afternoon, warm-up's going to be pretty warm out there still, but not as bad as what we saw last week with all those really warm temperatures in the 90s and such. Pretty much seeing mid-80s throughout the rest of the evening, and you do have a chance of seeing maybe a spotty shower or two. Nothing that's going to completely wash everything out. Here's your weekend planner. Looking ahead to Saturday, this is what we're really focusing on for the next few days. We have Saturday morning. You're going to start off pretty dry, maybe a sunny start to your day. Pretty much a clear out from all that smoke you've been seeing today. So by the time we get into the afternoon, you have a chance of seeing some afternoon scattered showers, but the best chance for storms comes in Saturday afternoon to evening. Around 5, 6 o'clock is when I'm really keeping an eye on those. But by the time you get into Sunday, look at this. I love saying that. Hey, sunny conditions Sunday, and you're going to stay mainly dry. Let's time everything out for you, though. This is Friday. This is today. Pretty much clear out until we get a little bit later in the afternoon. I'd say 5, 6 o'clock. That's when you're going to start to see some activity over on your radar. That's you're going to see a couple storms pop up, not total washout, but some areas will see some areas of heavier rain. That'll wash out by the time we get overnight, clear into your Saturday morning. This is around 1 o'clock tomorrow. That's when you might see some isolated showers start to pop up in your forecast. Pretty much just a little bit more of strength, but by the time we get later into the afternoon, that's what I really want you to keep an eye on. This is around 5, still having that activity of the isolated showers, but bam, we see around 7, 8 o'clock, you see that big line of possibly severe storms start to push through. I actually want to show you, take a look at this over here. Some of our strength actually looks like it possibly could be closer to Pennsylvania, but mind you, if that comes anywhere close to us, we could see some pretty heavy winds, gusty winds, heavy downpours in central Ohio. So we're keeping an eye on this, and we have gone ahead and issued a weather impact alert for you for those storms coming in. Pretty much it's all because of this little cold front that's moving through. You can actually see this yellow block right here is the Severe Prediction Center saying, hey, you might have a chance of seeing some severe storms in your area. But as this cold front pushes through, you can kind of see that line just make its way down. That's the big picture. That's pretty much why everything's going on right now. And as it continues the rest of the way out, we see a little bit more of a clearing behind that cold front, which is looking pretty nice for us. But here's that weather impact alert I was telling you about. For Saturday, after 2 p.m., afternoon to evening showers possibly could become severe, but we're keeping an eye on those, and we will keep you updated with everything you need to know here at 10 TV and on our radar. It's actually a feature you can access on our 10 TV app as well. For your rain chances after we get through Saturday, though, you're seeing a little bit of a clearing come on Sunday. 0% chance, kind of start to creep back in by the time we hit Monday and Tuesday with your rain chances. But take a look at this. You have a chance of seeing some relief come midweek next week, which honestly, we've had a lot of kind of crazy weather days with the rain, the smoke. So it might be nice to see a couple days of having maybe a little bit of a clearing. Here's the next 12 hours, though. Topping off right around low 90s, I'd say, for the next few hours. Have a chance of seeing some afternoon showers and storms come around 7 o'clock. But you're dry overnight and getting down to the mid 70s, especially if you're going out to that Clippers game. Looking pretty okay for your forecast. Here's your 7-day, though. Have that chance. Hey, these two are different for your weather impact alerts. This is for smoke, and that's going to clear up. And this is for rain that's coming in on Saturday afternoon into the evening. So keep that in mind. Rain, smoke. This will clear out over the next few hours. For the rest of the week, though, dry on Sunday, and then we have a chance of those showers and storms kind of brewing back in by the time you hit Monday and Tuesday. But look at the highs come on Wednesday. 80s possible. I'm looking forward to that maybe coming true. But hey, we're keeping an eye on it, and we will keep you updated with everything you need to know over here. Our coverage continues on this 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day of the smoke and how it can impact your home and car. Here's a couple bits of advice. If you're out driving today, you can reduce your smoke exposure by pressing this button you see here. It's actually your car's AC recirculation setting, and here's exactly what it does.
That recirculation button, it helps recirculate the air that's inside of the vehicle versus pulling the air from outside.
And when it comes to keeping your home and your windows and doors, experts also say that air quality days like this show us why it's really important to regularly inspect your home's air filter. 10 TV has also heard reports of people calling Columbus Fire about the smoke. We reached out to the battalion chief, Brian Barnhart, and he said between 2 and 4 this morning, the Division of Fire received 7 calls for smoke in the area. He says that all 7 have turned out to be nothing, but the division, of course, still sends out engines to investigate. A lot of that because of the Canadian wildfire smoke we saw this morning. New this afternoon, Senator Bernie Moreno plans to introduce a bill next week to sanction Canada and Canadian officials over the wildfire smoke coming into the U.S. As we've told you, it's creating that gross haze you see here. Senator Moreno accuses the Canadian government of failing to invest in wildfire prevention methods. Data from the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center shows that as of yesterday, there were more than 850 active fires across Canada, more than 200 of those which were out of control. And of course, this issue goes well beyond the state of Ohio. What millions of people are breathing in right now is smoke and ash from wildfires in Canada. Now that is settling over major cities and towns, including Minneapolis, New York, and we're even seeing impacts of it here in central Ohio. Health officials say coughing and shortness of breath is a risk for everyone outside. And for those with chronic conditions, the risk can get even more severe. CBS's Tom Hansen out in the smoke across the East River from Manhattan in Brooklyn.
The air is heavy tonight as those Canadian wildfires cast plumes of hazardous smoke, with air quality alerts going out to roughly 100 million Americans. This morning, residents in Michigan's Upper Peninsula woke up to a blizzard of ash. And in Philadelphia, an American Airlines pilot reported these conditions to air traffic controllers.
We are starting to pick up some ash on our windshield. Has anyone else been reporting that?
Poor visibility caused flight delays in Chicago, too.
It's almost like smoking cigarettes all day without even having to go get Newports.
Air quality experts say exposure to the smog increases the likelihood of asthma attacks, strokes, and heart attacks for everyone.
You want to minimize your exposures when air pollution is bad. So if you are healthy and active, this is not the time you want to be exercising outdoors.
Wildfire smoke is being lifted high into the atmosphere, where the jet stream is carrying it from Canada across the Great Lakes, Midwest, and toward the I-95 corridor. Jonah Kaplan is in Minnesota, one of the states with the worst air quality. He found most people there are heeding the advice to stay indoors.
It's a Thursday afternoon in mid-July, 90 degrees out here on Lake Minnetonka. It is eerily quiet. One boat captain calling the situation apocalyptic.
It really affects what people do outside. I mean, when they're told to stay inside, indoors, not do any strenuous activity, the lake, especially Lake Minnetonka, is a place that people want to be in the summer when it's 90 degrees out, and there's nobody out here right now.
Unfortunately for some, work is not canceled, and many don't have the option to do their jobs inside. Crews are needed to build and maintain the roads that we rely on daily. Yuba Ali has reports from Edina, Minnesota, where she saw that work in action.
The machines keep moving, and so does this crew, working through some of the toughest conditions of the summer. Laying asphalt while the sun is beating down and the air thick with wildfire smoke. That blacktop comes out of the truck well over 200 degrees. Crews jump in, raking, spreading, and moving the material. While many escape the heat, for these workers, there's no waiting for the weather to improve. Infrastructure still needs to be built, and roads still need repairs. Dr. Beth Stagora with Hennepin Healthcare says there are steps outdoor workers can take to reduce the risk.
You have the opportunity to take breaks while being an outdoor worker and go into your truck, get some clean air. If you can wear an N95 mask while outside, that will help to filter some of that particulate.
A Minnesota Department of Transportation spokesperson says safety is top of mind, and crews have adjusted their workflows to include more breaks, and hydration supplies and masks are provided. The work that keeps Minnesota moving continues outside.
And of course, it's not just the poor air quality outside that can make our weather challenging. The heat is, of course, still an issue, and that's why we want to remind you about our Beat the Heat fan drive. Remember, when temperatures rise this summer, you can help a neighbor stay safe. Join 10 TV, 97.1 The Fan, and Life Care Alliance for our annual Beat the Heat fan drive. Drop off a new box fan at any Franklin County fire station or make a donation through Life Care Alliance. Every donation helps keep someone cool, so text the word FAN to 614-460-3345 to find out how to donate. We'll send that information right to your phone, and together we can help beat the heat. And moving on from the smoke to our continuing coverage of these major floods down in Texas. The Texas Hill Country is facing extremely dangerous flooding conditions, and Governor Greg Abbott says at least 2 people have died due to the flooding. Up to 20 inches of rain have soaked the land in some areas, leading to more than 230 rescues, according to the Texas governor. Hubbard has details on the deluge.
Flood warning sirens sounded early Thursday at a campground and restaurant near Kerrville, Texas. after the Guadalupe River rose out of its banks. Those sirens installed after the area was devastated by flooding a year ago that killed 130 people, including 25 girls at Camp Mystic. Now, the National Weather Service says a, quote, large and deadly flood wave is surging down the Guadalupe River.
The water rushes down from the hillsides, the local streams and creeks, and into the larger rivers, and that is what accumulates. The water has nowhere to go but up, and unfortunately it becomes this lethal wall of water.
In southern Texas, about a year's worth of rain has already fallen. The Guadalupe River at Comfort, Texas rose more than 25 feet in 1 hour Thursday morning as slow-moving storms dropped several inches of rain, creating fast-moving water. The region under a flash flood emergency for most of Thursday, the highest level of flood warning. By Thursday evening, 2 people were reported dead.
A male near Comfort who was swept away in an RV. Another is a female in Uvalde.
Texas has seen loss of life, but also daring rescues, like this child in a snorkel seen being rescued by Texas game wardens. Texas first responders descended in Uvalde as storms passed through Wednesday, where a young girl, her family, and their 2 dogs waited desperately for rescue. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. First up, and sticking with the flooding rain, seasonal monsoon moisture is keeping fire crews busy in Arizona. The fire department released video Tuesday morning of an early morning rescue of a driver trapped in rising water. The agency reports the driver was not injured. Crews arrived on scene just 3 minutes after being called and have found a vehicle stranded in the wash surrounding by fast-moving water. The driver had climbed onto the roof of the vehicle, and crews extended a ladder to the vehicle, helped the driver onto the ladder, and safely brought them to shore. We're so thankful for all crews out there. And finally, today, let's check out a low flyover over the Pensacola beach on Wednesday. This created a large gust of wind that blew visitors' chairs and umbrellas up into the air. This pass a bit too close for comfort. The U.S. Navy Blue Angels released this statement. The U.S. Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, is aware of social media footage showing a low-altitude pass by a team aircraft over Pensacola Beach earlier today. During an arrival maneuver, an aircraft flew lower than standard profiles, resulting in a disturbance on the beach that affected civilian chairs and umbrellas. The safety of our hometown communities, spectators, and our pilots is our highest priority. Team leadership is reviewing the circumstances surrounding the maneuver and conducting a thorough safety review to ensure all operations adhere to strict Navy and FAA safety standards. Honestly, though, if I was in that beach, I think that my whole body would be like, oh my God, what is going on right now? Oh, I couldn't imagine. I love seeing some flyovers, though. It's a great view. But I'm thankful that I wasn't there to have all of the umbrellas flying everywhere. Let's take one check back into our forecast here in central Ohio. Over the next 12 hours, you're seeing pretty comfortable temperatures. In fact, we do still have all of that smoke out there. Hopefully that's going to clear up within the next few hours. I'm expecting 6, 7 o'clock. That will mainly kind of clear out of the way. We do have a chance of seeing some showers and storms later this afternoon as well, coming around 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Once those clear out, though, you're clear for the next few hours, cooling down slightly overnight. Not too much of clear out, though, for you. Keep in mind, we do still have that weather impact alert today for that smoke over the next few hours, and tomorrow evening for some afternoon showers and storms that could possibly become severe. So keep an eye on those, and we'll keep you updated here with everything that you need to know. Sunday, we do have a chance of a slight clear out, so it's looking a little bit better come to the beginning of your next week for your work week. Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be in tonight detailing everything you need to know and giving you a little bit more context of why all of this was happening earlier today and what's coming up later. Stick with us.